If you're struggling with slow sales or struggling to make sales at all, then this video is for you. Hey, I'm Lee Meyer, and I'm the founder of Listing of Freedom and the Empowered Reseller. And I help clothing resellers make more money without hustling harder. Let's get started. Hey there, I'm Lee Meyer, and I've made over $100,000 net profit flipping used clothes on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And I've had the privilege of working with coaching clients and students and people who come to me over the past few years. And their complaint is usually, I'm not making sales, or sales have completely stopped. What am I doing wrong? And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of my biggest secrets, my best tips, the ones that have helped clients go on and to see their sales turn around and to see profits coming in on a steady basis. I've been able to identify what are the biggest problems that new resellers run into, or sellers who have been at it for a while and suddenly sales stall. And we're going to dive into it all in this video. Before we get started, I want to give you a special gift, special thank you just for being here. And this is my 100K best brands list. You'll find a link to get that list in the description below this video. You'll enter your info and I'll send that to you right away. This is going to give you all of the brands that I source and sell on a regular basis, the same brands that have led me to make over $100,000 flipping used items online. All right, so let's get started. And speaking of brands and my brand list, this has to do with the first reason that you are maybe not seeing sales. And one of the biggest reasons that sellers are not seeing sales or not seeing the amount of sales that they think they should have to do with the items themselves. It could be that the items you're selling just aren't in demand. So I'd like to ask you if you have checked into the demand for the items that you've sourced, the demand for the items that you've listed. You can easily do that by going and seeing, okay, how many items, how many listings are currently available on the platform I'm trying to sell on, and then compare that number to how many items have been sold. If you're seeing a ton of items listed and not very many sales, that is a really good indication that the sell-through rate, the demand for that item is on the lower end, and you may be sitting on the item for a while until you can make a sale. The demand for items does depend on so many factors, and a lot of people think that it has everything to do with brands and nothing to do with anything else. And there's just nothing that's further from the truth. Yes, brands are a big deal. Yes, they're one of the things that shoppers are looking for. They're one of the things that can make and break you, but they're not the only thing. Now, I've put together a huge, complete library of over 750 brands, but I want you to know that if you don't have access to a lot of high-end brands or bigger name brands, don't let that stop you when it comes to reselling. I know as a new seller myself, I was looking at all the thrift stores in my area and going, okay, I don't have all of these big brands that all of the big resellers are telling you that you need. They were saying you're going to be able to walk in and find Lululemon and this brand or that brand. And I was walking into the thrift stores and going, okay, I don't have any of those brands. What am I supposed to do? I can't make it as a reseller, can I, without having these brands? And that's just not true. In addition to brands, there's other things that come into play with the demand for an item. It could be things like the size and the material and the condition and the style of the item. How new is it? How old is it? All of those things can affect your sell-through rate. The next reason I see for resellers not making sales or struggling to make sales is the fact that shoppers are not able to find their items. They're not showing up in search results. They're not showing for the correct buyer who is looking for your specific item. So how do buyers find your items anyways? Well, it's primarily through the use of keywords. Keywords in your titles, keywords in your descriptions, in the item specifics, in tags. You want to put keywords everywhere possible that you can, and not just any keywords. Yes, you want to put things like who it's for. Is it for a woman, for a girl, for a boy? You want to put things like the size and the color and maybe features of the item, such as is it a V-neck or short sleeve or capri? What type of dress is it? Is it a shift dress or a sheath dress? You want to know all of those types of items and the details of those types of items. If you're going, okay, I don't get what the difference is between this type of dress or that type of dress, or this type of shirt or that type of shirt, or this type of sleeve or that type of sleeve, I've got keyword guides for you, visual guides that will go in depth of each style and give you a quick glance, at a look glance, so that you can know exactly which keywords to be using. But more important than the features of the item, more important than the physical characteristics you can see, the keywords that you need have to do with the style or the look of the item. This is one of the easiest ways to get your items in front of the right buyers, the buyers who are looking for those specific looks. So what do I mean when I say style or the look of the item? That's the overall look, maybe even the subculture that would wear that type of item. It could be goth, it could be preppy. Think about the high school cliques, and that's kind of what those subcultures or those aesthetics, those looks are. When you can get those types of keywords into your listing titles, that's when you're going to see more views and more sales, because you're going to be able to get your items in front of the right buyers. I'm going to leave a link here to my style guide, and this makes learning all of those styles and all of those keywords related to styles super, super easy, because you've got the pictures right in front of you. The next reason for no sales or slow sales has to do with the pricing of your item. And in particular, if the item is overpriced, it's not going to sell, or you're not going to see a sale for a long time, or you may have to sit on the item for a long time until a buyer comes along who's willing to pay that full amount. Overpricing is a very common mistake that new resellers make because they know how much work went into going and sourcing that item, or maybe it's a personal item that they're trying to sell out of their house and they have some sort of personal attachment to that item and they don't want to let it go for anything less than X number of dollars. But sometimes, a lot of times, it's better to have your items turn over quicker than to have to sit on them for months and even years before you're able to make a sale at the price that you want. If you feel like this might be your issue, I would encourage you to go and check comps. That is comparable sold items, not just other items that have listed, but items that have actually sold, similar items that have actually sold, and go and see what the prices are that they are going for. You may need to dive in and look at the condition of those items to be able to make a comparison to the item that you're trying to sell. And if you're seeing any adjustment that needs to be made, if you need to adjust the price down, then I would encourage you to do that so that you can make a sale sooner rather than later. Another reason for lack of sales or not making as many sales as you're hoping for has to do with a sales strategy and having a sales strategy, a way to get your items to move, a way to get your items to sell. For the most part, reselling is not a set it and forget it, set it and walk away. Yes, some platforms are gonna let you do a little bit more of that than others, but it's really important that you have a strategy, a plan in order to get your items to sell. Some of these strategies can be hands-free, so you're not having to do a whole lot of work yourself, and others are going to require a little bit more of your time. But there's plenty of tools out there to help make this even easier for you. The strategies that available to you, the ones that you should use, are going to vary by the platform that you're selling on. And it could include things like sharing if you're on Poshmark. By the way, there's an amazing sharing tool. It's almost free. There's actually a 100-day free trial before it kicks in at $9 a month. And this will automate your sharing. It'll also automate sending offers to likers. If you haven't heard of this tool before, it is the Flip Sharing tool. And this is amazing because you're going to start seeing sales come in right away because you're having your items automatically shared and those offers automatically sent for you. And I will leave the link for you in the description below this video to go get signed up for your free trial. It's an amazing 100-day free trial, no credit card required. So it's definitely worth a shot and seeing if that will help you make more sales on Poshmark. And of course, there's other strategies like promoting items if you're on Mercari or eBay. And then there's running sales. And that's basically just a price adjustment of your item. On eBay specifically, it's going to show as, hey, this item's on sale. Hey, it's 25% off. And this option is available to eBay store subscribers. Otherwise, you will need to edit your price down. You could always add something in your listing if you needed to that says, hey, this item's on sale. Hey, this item's 10% off, or whatever that discount is, to let shoppers know. I'd also recommend delisting and relisting your items, especially if you're on platforms like Poshmark and Mercari. And the reason for this is because when you delist and relist, that item is going to be a brand new item. It's going to have a new URL, and the platform will recognize it as a new item and give you priority in search results. Now, you could manually go into the platform and delist the item and relist it, but the easiest way to do this, the fastest way, is to use a tool like Vendoo, and that's what I use in my own business to delist and relist items. I specifically use this with all of my Poshmark and Mercari listings to get them to be refreshed and to show up higher in the search results. I will leave my affiliate link below this video, and I appreciate your support in trying out this tool. Again, this is another tool that has a free trial for you, so you don't even need to pay anything right out of the gate. You get all of the features. You can try out that delist and relist and see if that will help you with your sales. For me, when I do it, I can almost guarantee sales. I would recommend setting up the delist, relist, and doing it every day. I would recommend delisting and relisting a portion of your inventory every single day. This is one of the best things that you can do to make sales without having to slash your prices at all. A lot of times I run the delist, relist, and sales are coming in almost immediately. So I hope these tips have helped and that your sales will turn around soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you there.